What is up out there? Big D Energy here with you on this Friday, December the 3rd. Darren McCarty running the shit. We got the pontoon, Terry Foster, the professor, in with the 250s in the back. Joint Bell, the legend himself.
I got the 15s in the back.
You got the 15s? Attaboy.
Yeah.
Cruising. We got Fish Kiwi, his new Twitter account. In the fishbowl, and Sawyer running the front line on the ones and twos. I told you, even a monkey could do that job. So, gentlemen, before we get started, obviously, I want to address the tragedy that we're dealing with Oxford High School. We're at a loss, wondering what we can do to help Oxford. One way we can help make a difference in this wonderful petition to rename the Oxford football field as Tate Myre Stadium. If you can, please go to www.change.org and sign the petition. This won't bring anyone back, but we can make sure the victims will never be forgotten. The tragedy, obviously, everybody still, we want to keep in the forefront. Our prayers are with the 4 victims, and everybody suffering from that. I also saw this morning on Fox 2 our friend Ryan Ermani, who is on the bottom line between 2 and 4 with Maz and Braylon Edwards, was talking about how the kids had to leave everything there and they won't get to go back for weeks, so coats and different things like that. So I think for the petition, change.org, and look out to the Oxford School District to see if you can donate, coats and stuff at this time of year. So I just wanted to get that not out of the way because it's in the forefront of everybody's mind, and I think that we should continue it to be. And, Terry, when I addressed this with Neil the other day, because of his kids in high school, now our kids are a little bit older and stuff like this, but I don't think we got if you had anything to say about, obviously, the tragedy and stuff like this, but how do we keep this in the forefront? Because I know here's a great time. I saw this, the University of Michigan.
Yeah.
Sawyer, did you see the University of Michigan and Jim Harbaugh? Look at that. It's for our listening audience out there on 99.1, 93.5, and 94.7 HD2. It's the TM42 with the Oxford O around it with 4 hearts on it to represent all the victims, but TM42 will be on the jerseys in Indianapolis this weekend for the Big Ten Championship.
So can you read that out for everybody who can see it, and for the people that are on the radio? This is what the hashtag, not a hashtag, but this is what the quote reads.
It says, "Our uniforms will feature a special logo during Saturday's Big Ten Championship game. The shape is Oxford's Block O, meant to honor all victims, survivors, and community members. The TM and number 42 pay tribute to football player Tate Myre, Tate, Hannah, St. Julian, Madison Baldwin, and Justin Schilling, whose lives were senselessly lost earlier this week, are represented by 4 blue hearts under the number. We are proud to represent the state of Michigan and all its communities. Hashtag Oxford Strong is hashtag Michigan Strong."
That's awesome.
I think you asked the question, how do you keep this in the forefront? I think the main thing that we can do as a society is don't let this become normal. Don't hear, 4 kids were killed in a high school and 7 or 8 others were wounded. Pass me my latte. You have to make sure that it's important in your life and that it's talked about. I think that's the best thing that we can do. But I'll tell you a horrible thing about this tragedy. The worst thing is being shot and killed, but we experience, at least my kids really experience, not knowing, because my kids have cousins that go to that high school. They have cousins that went to that high school. And then there was a period where you hear about the shooting, but then you don't know. Was it my boy or was it, my cousin? And, they're far away from the situation, but were locked in until they found out, who the victims were and that their family was safe. And so that's an uneasy period to go to also.
Well, I think you see, what's happened since then is obviously a lot of the other schools, and I know it's being addressed at whatever threats of other attacks throughout the state and stuff like this. So I think the fact that we have to talk about it, and like you said, and just not let it go by. And what are the answers? I don't think any of us do, or else this wouldn't have happened.
And just always remember, no matter how young or old you are, this is not funny. For some people, this is funny. That's why they're doing the copycat threats, because it's just ha. I'm gonna pretend that I'm going to shoot up a school. It's not funny.
But is it really? Are they really being funny? Are they really serious? Because the talk was he was in a group, and they had like different days on each one. This is it's up in the air, but this is what it was. It was a group of kids that were in the group, and each kid was going to do a shooting each day of the week. But they happened to stop one of the kids and stopped it from happening. And
right.
Investigation is still going on. Things are still coming out every day. We don't know exactly what happened. But how do you have these conversations with your kids? Like, how much information is too much information? How much information you want to give to them? Because at the same time, they are kids. Like, should they know everything? Should we shield them from certain things?
Well, you're living it.
I'm living it.
You're living it. So, I mean, how do you address it? Because you have a high school son.
I have high school. I have a son that's in high school.
And I'm sure after this is happening,
Yeah.
I mean, you not only have this feeling, but how do you what's the conversation that you have with him?
It's tough. You don't know which route to take. It's just to ask. It's one thing that saw that was implemented. I don't know what state it was, but they're giving kids like 5 days off a year for just mental days, where they can just take a mental break. Because, in our culture, if our kids are acting a certain type of way, we don't take them to a psychiatrist. We say, "Oh, he'll be okay. He's just acting crazy right now." And but in the grand scheme of things, like my nephew, my nieces, my son, like we let them go through therapists. Because sometimes they just need to talk, and it's good just to have someone that you can sit there and talk to. Not everyone has that. So I think the way that I went about it, me and my son, we have a lot of conversations. He's getting older, so we talk about a lot of different things. And with this being the case, I asked him, like, have you ever heard any talks? Because this doesn't really just happen. Like, kids, they usually tell other kids or friends, like, something like this is about to happen, or it's a little chatter. It doesn't get out there too much, and then something like this happened. I think one of the kids on a video, when their parents or they were talking, and when you hear one of the kids in the background say, "I told you this was going to happen. Like, I told you, I told you," and I think it was another kid in class that knew him, that I think he might have heard something about it as well, but he didn't think he was serious. And so the thing is, if you hear something like this in school from one of your friends, like, don't, even if you think they're playing, like, let an adult know, let one of the teachers know, let the authorities know, like, because something like this can happen and it can cost lives.
Yeah, because most of the time, young kids telegraph what they're going to do. And I got to get on social media and do a video. This is what I'm going to do. And then a lot of times our kids see it and they don't say anything. We had a situation about 4 or 5 years ago. Kids broke into a gun shop, stole guns and ammunition, then got on social media and said, "We're going to shoot up my son's high school." So I had to, we had a talk that morning. He was scared. He doesn't want to go to school. So we had this long conversation about should he go to school that day. I texted the principal, and I was told this. They knew about it. Some of the kids had already told them. I don't know if my son was one of them, but the kids were proactive and said, "Hey, this is what's going on." So the adults knew. The sheriff's department was at the school. West Bloomfield police were there, and they had other security there. And I was told this is going to be the safest day at this school ever. We are on top of it. We know what's happening. And the reason that happens is because the students didn't just watch it and then close their
True.
Their iPads. They said
we talked about this yesterday, remember?
When watching this, that really hit me hard is they were interviewing one of the girls that you see the video that got out of the windows and stuff, and the way and at the end of the day, the tragedy happened, but the precaution to look of how the students at young ages had to become adults in the finest moments and use their skills. And that little girl that was sitting there going, the adults and teachers, they don't think we listen, but we do. We do listen. And I think it comes that it's, as we were talking about this, you know what I thought about? You know what the worst thing our parents had to worry about us going to school? What was the whole thing?
What?
Knocking a broad up. Knocking somebody up,
Yeah.
right? No. I mean, that was like the
Well,
worst thing that you'd have to have the birds and the bees talk and all this stuff, and that was the hardest talk. Now you got to have a life and death talk, and you don't know if you're like that's the reality of it. But to your point, Terry, it is the adult's responsibility because we are letting these kids down, but we have to listen because, to me, I always said this, we rag on millennial generation or whatever else like that, but it's a transparency of the truth that has to get out. So we got to give them benefit of the doubt that they can handle it because they're growing up a lot quicker than we are. These things right here manifest. You can't hide anything. There's nothing, think about our age, growing up like a 12-year-old these days compared to me being 12 years old. I mean, it's just a different world. So
right. And I think what we do is we give each other the benefit of the doubt. It's not going to really happen, right? I know what he said, what he posted, but it's not going to happen. For instance, if someone say, "Hey, Joik's got a gun," my first thing, he ain't going to use it.
Right.
He just got a gun. So what? But sometimes we need to take these things more seriously, but we don't because we believe in society. We believe that you're not going to do something evil until it actually happens.
No, it's that's the truth of society, the world, and everything like that. So we want to keep it in light, and everybody else who's dealing with this out there. Prayers from our Woodward Sports Network family go out to the victims and the survivors and everybody dealing with this. And hopefully we can't let this die down and fall under the rug and wait to hear for everything else to come out. So
so real quick, I want to kind of allude back to what you were saying earlier when you said that they had the West Bloomfield Police, they had the Sheriff Department there, they had extra security there.
Right.
We talked about this yesterday on the show when Neil said, why don't we just have these people at the school and their whole job is just to patrol the school 24/7. That's their only job. Go to the school, patrol the school, make sure the kids, come to school safe, they get home safe. And stuff like this doesn't happen.
Well,
I may have the solution, and here's my solution. Treat every high school like they're in the hood. All right?
Yeah,
when you go into a suburban high school,
we talked about this yesterday. We talked about
metal detector. You just roll in there, what's up? And there might be some guy that's like 80 years old.
Yeah, what's he going to do?
Can't see.
Like the one at Myers going to stop you from walking over there?
But when you go into the hood, metal detectors, there's 5 or 6 security people, and they're armed.
You put your bag on. You put your bag on the table. They look in your bag. Because I'm telling you, like even growing up in my school or going to my school, they would take the ID cards, and they'll shave them till they got really, really sharp. So they got to fight. They can cut people. Like that's the type of stuff that happens in school. So it's not just only guns. Like it's other things. But for the most part, like you getting cut versus getting shot. I mean, I don't want either or. I'm telling you, like I don't want either or.
But maybe you treat every high school like they're in the hood.
I'm just because, like I said, like growing up, we would hear about this happening in other places, but like this has never happened, like at my school. I don't know if this ever happened in a Detroit school. I don't know. But
I think it's Central High School, but it was 2 people were shot, but they weren't killed. So it really went under the radar at Detroit Central High School.
Right, and how many times this happened. So, we're going to touch on it. We're going to address it. We're going to move down the road, but we'll find out because more things are coming out and in the news, and we have to see what it is, but we're going to definitely address it. So, but what we have to address, right, big game this weekend, and if you want to bet this big game, you know where you got to go. Our studio sponsor, MyBookie.ag. About 3 weeks left till Christmas. Let's get the bag. A little extra money presents. Maybe you want to play Michigan -11, or you want to parlay with the over-under. What you need to do, go to MyBookie.ag. 100% match deposit. Put in up to $1,000, get $1,000 to bet if you want to bet Michigan. There's a whole bunch of other games. You even could bet the Lions +7 right now. Is this going to be the week? Who knows? So set yourself up for success with doubling your first deposit when you use promo code Woodward at MyBookie. Promo code Woodward to double your initial bonus deposit all the way up to $1,000. Bet anything, anywhere, anytime with MyBookie. 1-800-270-7117 is a Michigan gambling hotline if you so need it. Terry Foster, Joint Bell, D-Mac, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Welcome back here. Big D Energy, D-Mac, T Foss in for Neil Rule, Joint Bell, Fish in the Fishbowl, Sawyer and his monkey on the ones and twos, no doubt. But let's get into this. It's finally here. It's happening, Terry.
Yeah.
Michigan Wolverines heading down to Indianapolis for the Big Ten Championship. Right now, they are 11-point favorite facing off against Iowa. Should Michigan be worried, or what does T. Foss? He's been here, he's seen it, he's done it.
I've always believed this. It seems like when you have a big victory, you got to validate. So this is Michigan's validation after beating Ohio State. This is the only game left that they have to win. You have to beat Iowa, who's 10-2 with no offense, and in your first trip to the Big Ten Championship game, if you want to have yourself considered one of the elite. After that, it's all gravy after that. They lose to Alabama. Oh, well, they gave the old college try. But this is a have-to win. This is a validation game that I say they have to win this. But they don't have to win a game after this.
So
it would be nice, but you don't have to.
We always agree, right, with this analogy, right? 1980, USA Olympic team beating the Russians. That was Michigan beating Ohio State in the semifinals. Now the U.S., because you and I both, they had to win the gold against Finland. They won 4-2, stuff like this to finish it off. This is their gold medal game right here, correct?
A lot of the young people think the United States won the gold medal by beating the Russians. That's not true.
No.
They beat Finland to win the gold medal.
Now, Joy, from what you saw last week, and I give you high praise because it's exactly what you've been talking about before the season, the attitude. Now, to me, it's a different Michigan team that I see. My question is, do they control the line of scrimmage? And does Hassan Haskins, is it able to go off against Iowa like that? Or is it a different game that we're going to watch?
No, I think it's going to be something similar. I think Michigan is who Michigan is right now. So they're really great at protecting the ball. I think he threw one interception last year. Last week. But even with that being the case, he's very, I like the ball in Tate Myre's hand. He's not going to do too much. He's going to take what the defense gives him. And every now and again, he might take a shot. Taking shots is not really his game, but he can make it work for him. With Haskins is going to be the heartbeat of this offense. But the thing is, he's playing really well, but so is Blake. Blake is playing well. He's not getting as many carries, but the carries that he is getting, he's making the most of it. Michigan probably more than likely will control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. They're not a scoring offense, and so in order for them to win this game, like Neil said, they're going to have to turn the ball over 2-3 times. In order for Iowa to even be in this game. I don't think it's going to be close.
My question to you, Terry, Tate Myre, Joint brought it up, right?
Yes.
We've had a lot of good quarterbacks right here at Michigan throughout the years. Is this the guy to get it done? Because through everything else, the thing I like about this kid the most is his resilience, and he doesn't listen. You talk about the interception he threw it down. We didn't like to see it, but he threw it inside the 5-yard line. You know what I'm saying? Like, he threw it down deep into enemy territory. It's
Yep.
not like he threw a pick in his zone. So is he the type of guy to lead this team? Is he the perfect guy that we find for the job, as opposed to they keep trying to force feed us J.J. McCarthy? Or is there, like, what have you seen from him
you
throughout
know what?
the year?
Here's what I see in him. No flash, no dash. I just come in and get the job done. And he's proven the public wrong. The public has said you can't beat Ohio State with a quarterback like this. And he's like, all right, cool. So, yeah, he's not forcing the ball down the field. He's not spectacular. But you know what he doesn't do? He doesn't turn the ball over.
Doesn't.
And in football, it's not a simple game, but when you don't turn the ball over, damn it, you win. And we can talk about running game, we can talk about the passing game, special team, but if you hang on to the pill, you don't lose.
George, is there any chance that Michigan is looking ahead, that they're not focused specifically on this game and know they're going to get there?
I doubt it. I don't see it happening. I spoke with one of the players after the game. I said, listen, go. This is the day after. I mean, this is the day of the big win. I said, listen, big win today. Go out, have fun with your teammates, right? Be smart, and enjoy it for 24 hours, and then get ready for the championship game. And he texted me back like, yep, we're going to have a good time, and then we back focused tomorrow. It was like, we're right there. And so this team is focused. This is a different Michigan team. They're going about it a different way. You don't hear as much chatter as before, and now they're like, it's either shut up or put up, and they're putting up right now.
Well, that's the consistency that you've been talking about all year. That's the way they're consistently have sort of dealt with this, the things you're saying when you said I talked to some players and stuff like this. And the best part is what you say. It doesn't matter what the names are, but these are, role player guys that aren't the head of it, but they feel just as much part and responsible to everything else. Terry, did you see the Detroit Sports Commission is trying to bring the Big Ten Championship game home?
I saw that, and hopefully this will happen. I don't think Indianapolis should have this game all to themselves. If you want to spread it around between Indy, Detroit, and Minneapolis, who all have domes, I'm fine with that. But when the Big Ten Championship game started, Detroit didn't have a downtown. There was one there technically, but there was nothing to do. I think Detroit's in a position where there's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of entertainment. There's a lot of touristy things to do. The thing that I don't know, and the Detroit Sports Commission must feel good about, are there enough hotel rooms to accommodate everybody?
So that's what it is. So that's the issue, right? And so that's why we never had. We had the Super Bowl here that one year. And after that, we haven't had it again, because what they're saying is we were like 2,000 keys short of hotel rooms to bring these big events back here. That's including the Super Bowl, that's including the NBA All-Star Game, and even including this, right? And now if you look in downtown Detroit, it's hotels going up left and right. It's businesses that are coming back. Quicken Loans, they brought all their employees back downtown. That's 17,000 employees by themselves. You have other development companies coming in. They're developing. They're bringing more businesses into downtown Detroit. And then I think at the end of 2023 or end of 2024, we'll have the Hudson site built as well right downtown, which I believe would be either one or the first or second tallest building in the Midwest outside of the Sears Towers in Chicago. And so it's a lot of things that's happening. It's more shopping, more things to do. Right now, this is a perfect time to put in the bid for this, because Detroit is coming back. Even from the streets being fixed and everything.
Yeah, that's a great point right there about the Grand Prix coming back to the streets, and then them getting due diligence. And you were talking about Jefferson and Woodward and stuff. So this is a great time to segue. At the end of the show, in the last segment, we're introducing today Story Time with Sawyer. But Sawyer, put that back up there, and would you read that for the audience at home? Because our good friend Tony Paul from the news is he the news?
He's the news.
Yes. He's the news. Our good buddy Tony. I play golf with Tony. So, will you just read that for the audience listening on the radio?
Yeah, it says Michigan and Iowa fans aren't the only ones going to Indianapolis this weekend. The Detroit Sports Commission is sending a contingent, as well as it prepares for an all-on blitz to bring the Big Ten Championship game to Ford Field.
You know what? That's so big to me, because that would just add on to what we already have. one of the only team in the only city with all 4 major teams all in downtown, all within walking distance from each other. We have I think the second biggest theater as far as the theater district outside of Broadway in New York. Yeah, I mean, it's so much stuff here to do, and just to bring this back here, I think in a minute we might be the #1 entertainment city in the country.
Well, here's the thing, right? Think about the timing of this. And look at our professional teams. Look at our college teams. Look at where everybody's at. I ask you, Terry, this is almost, you got to wait for the opportunity. Timing's everything. This seems like it's the right time, and it seems like they've thought about it, and it's like, to Joy's point, why would it not go through?
Put your thing up. Put your thing up.
Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Put your
Where's
thing
my
up.
clock?
Right
there
there.
it is. 11th. So, are you saying when the clock runs down?
2023, 2024. That's when it's gonna be time.
So
Your
there
clock.
we go. Not only is the clock about the Lions team, but it also too when everything downtown will be hopping and popping. But you know what's downtown that you want to get some practice in or something like this?
Go down the Riverwalk. Go swim at the Riverwalk.
Yeah, or get your throws in before the big game.
Oh yeah. Where
Sawyer?
you go?
Oh, we can go on down to the Foaling Warehouse, baby.
Oh, been there.
Oh, been there, done that. It was a great time. That was actually my first time going Foaling.
Did you win?
So it was amazing. Well, we lost in the semis, but we didn't try and put ourselves into the championship game, showing up late. But no, it was a great time. I mean, we had our holiday party there. Everybody came out. I got to experience the true passion of the mystery beer. It's $2 for
What
naughty,
did you get?
$4 for nice. Oh, I went naughty. Thanks to DMAC. Got myself a PBR. Match made in heaven, because that was DMAC's go-to back in the day.
Absolutely,
So it was
back in the
perfect.
dizzle.
But Foaling was invented at the Indianapolis 500. That place has a very special part in my heart, and Foaling does now too. You can host corporate events, family parties, or just go there and have a good time with your buddies. You can pay $10 at the door, unlimited open pay, or you can rent lanes like we did as well for our holiday party. Over 100 beers, mystery beer machine. They have gypsy vodka there as well, so you can be pouring up stuff like that. And it's just a great time, easy to get to, fun place for everybody. So if you're interested, go to the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck or go to foalingwarehouse.com. This is Big D Energy with D-Mac on the desk. T. Foss sitting in for Neil Rule today. We got Joik Bell over in the captain's chair. We got Fish in the studio, looking good, checking out his Twitter right now. So many people following him. And I'm in here pressing the 1s and 2s. We'll be right back here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Big D, Big D.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
Of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Big D Energy here. Thanks for tuning in on this Friday. And if you want to come down Sunday, the Detroit Lions looking for their first win against those pesky up and down. Who knows what's coming to town? Kirk Cousin and the Minnesota Vikings. Woodward Sports will be live for Lions pregame, sponsored by Jose Cuervo at the Tin Roof, downtown Detroit, formerly known as Chelly's, right across Kitty Corner to Comerica Park, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. kickoff. Ryan Romani, Maz Jade, and D-Mac is making his first appearance. To Kennedy will be there more with the pregame live on Woodward Sports and 101 WRIF. That'll be on Sunday. Hopefully it's not too cold. And then after the game, you can join Stick and Anson. I told Stick that they want to switch sides, move his chair for the post game, because the 2-minute warning watch party and after party for every Lions game at the Brass Rail right on the corner of Adams and Woodward. Start streaming the 2-minute warning at every Lions game. Get the reactions, crowd interactions, DJs, drinks, Woodward VIP section. The tater tots are bomb. The pizza's bomb. Get down there every Lions home game up at the Brass Rail Detroit. Now, Lions +7 home dog. Terry, is this the week they pull out the win? Now, when I say this, do you know the Lions are 7-4 versus the spread?
Okay, I don't care about the spread.
Okay.
I care about if they're going to win or not. I am not going to predict another Lions game this season.
You're not?
I thought they were going to beat the Chicago Bears on Thanksgiving.
I did. I said
that
was
was a
split.
primetime game, and so I said, this is the game right here, folks. Pay attention to it because the Bears are having turmoil. There was rumors they're going to fire their coach after the game. That didn't happen. I know a lot of things were going on, and I didn't know if the Bears were going to use this as a galvanizing thing or just kind of like, damn, we give up. But they ended up winning the game, and as usual, Dan Campbell made another mistake near the end of games to ensure that the opponent won. So I am not going to predict anything. You know what?
So you're not predicting because that's the way to a victory?
No, I'm not predicting because
they're a waste of your time.
They're so pathetic
Okay.
that even when you have a game on a silver platter that they should win, they don't win.
What do you think, Junk? What's your vibe going into this game?
You know what? I have the Vikings, so I wish we had the video of what I did when I did my selection, my prediction of each game. And I had us winning 4 games this year, right? I had us splitting with the Bears. That didn't happen. I had the Vikings beating us. I had us beating the Browns, the one game that, at the beginning of the year, no one thought we had a shot at winning. But if you watch the game, probably one of the closest games we had all year alongside with the Ravens. But as I'm watching it and I'm looking at this game coming up, like I said yesterday, you don't know what Vikings team you're going to get. You don't know what Lions team you're going to get. It's going to be a good game, or it can be a lopsided game where, we're not performing or they're not performing. But, I really don't know. I don't want to project it. I'm no more projections. But I will be watching.
How do you go in? Really, how do you go into this game? Do you want them to lose so they stay on the Neal train, so the draft
This
pick?
is what I want. I want it to be close. I want every game to have a lot of effort.
I like competitive games.
I want it to be a competitive game. And at this point, the only thing good that can come out of this season, if we're being honest, is that first-round draft pick. I'm on the Neal train now. That's what he says.
Is it fair to say that the focus on the ineptability of Jared Goff has been turned to the ineptitude of Dan Campbell as the clock or the coach?
For me, it has.
For me, I'm asking that because for me, Jared Goff is what Jared Goff is, right? You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
You had optimism that he would be better. You had optimism that he would return to.
Who is he? Are you talking about
Super Bowl?
Jared Goff.
No, who is he though?
Who's what?
Me.
All right, so you had
I had optimism.
Oh, you did?
I think that he would be better, that he would have been better. But my focus, right, is on, like, it's been the quarterback early. Are they going to get this or whatever? Now it's the last 3 weeks. It's a coach. What's this coach? Right. Is this coach for real? Is this the real deal? Like, and you're there too, right?
Right. And let me address something. I hear from fans. Well, what did you expect? The team stunk. Did you think he was going to win 9 or 10 games? No, only a couple knuckleheads around here thought they were going to win 9 or 10 games. But here's what I want out of my coach. That you have the confidence in this guy that he's going to make the right decisions at the right time. Being an NFL coach, head coach, is not learn on the job. When you go to McDonald's and you're doing fries or burgers, that's learning on the job. If you are piloting a 747 with 300 people on there, you're not learning on the job. You should already know what's happening. I think Dan Campbell is stuck in spots where he's like, man, I've never been here. What do I do? Oh my God, I'm confused.
This is his first time play calling.
But don't call the damn plays.
Hey, he wasn't calling the plays, but if you're a head coach and offensively you're not being productive, you're not producing, then yes, you know what? Thanks, Anthony Lynn. I'm gonna take over from here.
But if you don't know what you're doing, you just make things worse.
Hold up. Your first time and not know what you're doing is 2 different things. That's 2 different things, right? The only way he's going to get experience is by calling the plays.
So learn on the job.
He's going to be here for 6 years. I'd rather get out of the first year.
That's unacceptable to me.
It's not unacceptable when you're not producing on offense and you gave him half the year. You came in after the fact. You didn't try to come in. He didn't have an ego. I'm gonna call the plays. They weren't being productive, and he lost all trust in Jared Goff, all trust. Why you think they're running the ball on 3rd and long? Because they don't believe in Jared Goff's arm. And so we look at his play calling. He can only call. Like he doesn't want to put a good coach puts his players in good position to be successful.
But here's the thing, right? He's played with, if you're saying about coming in, and I agree, no attitude, but he came in with this mentality that it was going to be kneecaps, and when you run it, or just some of the things, his decisions, it's not a bite. He's not biting anybody, at least early on when he was going on a 4th down.
He's scared. He doesn't have confidence in his offense, doesn't have confidence in his quarterback. So the kneecaps thing is done. I'm going to run the ball on 3rd and 31. Because I don't have faith in these guys.
No. These guys or his quarterback?
The quarterback.
All right, then. Don't say
but
these guys.
But he is part of the offense.
But just not these guys, though. It's just Jared Goff.
I know, but
you said these guys.
Supposedly football is the team game.
No. But he has confidence in his team. That's why he's running the ball. And that's why when Taylor Decker came back, they rushed for over 20 yards as an offense, his first game back. That's why we knew going into the season that this strength was going to be their run game. We knew that.
We know that, but let me ask you this.
We knew we wasn't going to have a passing game.
Screen pass in the NFL? Are you not allowed to call that play?
Yeah, you can. We've called that play before.
Okay, but I'm saying this dude is calling a draw play on 3rd and 31. Not once, not twice, but 3 times in the last few weeks.
I think it's just the fact that the spotlight right there is how's it in your mind. It's like, how is he going to mess it up this week, or how are we going to get close and not get over the hump? And be not. I'm looking to see something that, okay, he's learning from some of these mistakes. And Robert, this is for you, right? Esquire out there, Colosia, Sawyer's not putting up the graphic of how the Lions are still alive to make the playoffs, even though they are, because we don't want none of that. I'm not going to do that when Neil's not here, but good try.
That's amazing. They have not been eliminated.
They have not been eliminated.
That's amazing.
That is the truth. And last second's our specialty, isn't it? Isn't it right? But for some reason, right? It's so frustrating that you don't see, like with all the coaches. I thought that former players, guys, like Terry, I ask Neil this question all the time, right? I learned clock management from Madden, playing Madden NFL or whatever like that. I'm not a football guy. Where do coaches learn how to coach? And is it on the job, or like how can he get better?
You should already know. First of all, he's been an assistant coach in the NFL. He's studied Sean Payton. He's been in situations where he's seen other coaches make decisions. And so that's when you learn. You're not actually doing it, but, a lot of times players are asked to learn off the bench. So why can't coaches do the same thing? Okay, I'm not a head coach, but I know in certain situations to work the clock this way because I've seen it done before. So we ask players, y'all learn. We're not playing, but y'all ass better be learning right now. I say the same thing should be handled with coaches too. That's when you learn on the job, when you're actually not doing the job.
All right, do we know why he called that second timeout?
It was Aaron Glenn that called it.
All right,
so his defensive coordinator called it.
They called it because one of the things that Campbell said was, "What am I supposed to do? Watch him walk in and score a touchdown in that situation with 2 minutes left?" And I say yes.
Yeah, because that's
your only chance you had to win.
Yep. But that's another level thing from watching the games, and I think that's the frustrating part too, is that we don't mind if the team has a lack of talent and they go out there and they play hard and stuff like this, but then at the end of the day, they're not getting any help when they need help the most, right? Stuff like that. But here, I want to give everybody some hope and just to know. So throw up if the season ended today, what the draft order would be, and I want everybody just to kneel.
I thought you were going to tell us what playoff position the Lions are going to be in.
Oh, yeah, no. Look at guys. Obviously, number one, that's important. But look at that second pick, Terry. 23. Now, my question to you, right? If you had to call it right now with what you've seen from the LA Rams, Matt Stafford and what like that, is that where they end up? Do they play better and our pick's going to be down near 30, or is it done there, and we could have a top 20
It's
pick?
probably
with
going to
theirs?
be around there. I don't think the Rams are going to take off or tank. So that's probably about right. Maybe 24, 20, 21 or something around
As
there.
long as we have 3 picks in the first 33 picks, I'm happy.
Okay.
Yes.
3 picks in the first 33 picks.
So it's a bundle. So as long as you got the bundle, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what that second pick is. You were
Yeah.
So even if it was, what if it was 2? What if for some reason you won 3 games and it was 2, 23, and 33? You're all right with that, or you have to have the one?
I would love the
No, it'll
number
be
2
2,
pick.
20. It'll be 2, 23.
I'm with
and
you,
2.
bro. I'm
because-
not. I'm.
You heard me though. If it was that, it'll be 2, 23, and then
34.
34.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
And so.
So no,
So
no
it's
to your
no.
answer, but I wouldn't mind that number 2. We're
Yes.
gonna have to talk about that
Because
down the road.
Thibodeau, Oregon is getting all this love. He's the definite number 1 pick. But me, I'd take Aiden Hutchinson.
Doesn't it remind you of Clowney coming out? Mm-hmm. The fact that
That one hit that he had, this oh damn, Clowney's gonna.
I was in the
clown this
building
league.
for that too, and it sounded like a car
Oh yeah,
crash.
that's right. You were there.
It sounded like a car crash. I tell everybody, I was sitting beside the South Carolina
You'll take
Gamecocks band. It was
I would take yes.
unbelievable.
I would.
Hey, did you watch the quick thoughts? Did you watch the NFL football game last night? The Dallas Cowboys beat the New Orleans Saints 27-17. Dallas defense had 4
In this,
picks.
you know what, man? You know we're gonna get into that when we come back, but I want to tap into that.
All right, we're going to tap into that when we get back, because last night, you know who could have used the Coast Portland machete? Taysom Hill, that's for sure. No bueno. But if you want the Coast Portland machete or any of the knives, the great lamps, whatever you want for do-it-yourself outdoorsmen, it's getting snowy out, leaves are falling. You know what to do. Go to coastportland.com, use WSN20 for 20% off. And when you do, make sure you mention Big D Energy. Make sure you tell them the Professor Terry Foster, the Juggernaut Joint Bell, and DMAC sent you to coastportland.com. Yes, greatest outdoor stuff ever. Big D Energy. We'll be right back. We're supposed to now. Big D. Big D.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Did you know mortgage rates are still at generational lows? If you haven't refinanced your home loan yet, there's still time. Now is your second chance to refinance. You could lower your monthly payment, eliminate credit card debt, or even take cash out by using your home's equity. Call Hall Financial now to get started with your free 5-minute mortgage review. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Rocking and rolling on this Friday on the pontoon. DMAC T. Foss, Joint Bell. We're continuing the conversation. I brought up the fact that Dallas beat the New Orleans last night, but I want to go back to Terry because I think it's a little bit more important. And I asked the people out there in the YouTube universe and stuff like this, would you rather have the second pick so you don't get pressured into picking Thibodeau as number 1? Because you mentioned you'd take Aiden Hutchinson.
I would, and you probably can't do this, but if I could trade the number 1 pick for number 2 and get a little bit something else, I would do it because I'd rather have Aiden Hutchinson than Thibodeau. Whenever I look at Thibodeau, you know, his back is hurting, his knee is messed up, or he's got a broken finger. He is injury prone.
Is he sitting
Hutchinson,
out? Is he sitting out?
Huh?
Is he sitting out? Is he playing through it?
He stands out, but Aiden Hutchinson is standing out too. The only thing that scares me about Aiden Hutchinson is there's certain guys who cannot play in their hometown. There's too many distractions. I don't know what his situation is, but maybe he's got that problem, maybe he doesn't. When Charles Rogers from Michigan State,
that's different. That was different.
I was told.
Yeah, but isn't Hutchinson playing at home now?
Yeah. No. He's not playing for a professional team. He's playing in a college team where you're a little bit insulated in college. And Charles Rogers played for his quote-unquote
Terry,
hometown team.
I can't. I'm going to sit here and laugh because I played at home. I figured it out. It was
But
tough.
not everybody does.
can. But
Man,
you don't think?
And I see
But
what
I
you said,
think,
Charles.
to your point, you're bringing up Charles. Then you bring up Hutchinson. That's a totally different, where they came brought up from.
That's a totally different upbringing. So I won't compare those two. That's totally different. Shout out to the late Charles Rogers, a good friend of mine, Chuck. Was a great guy, but had a lot of distraction. Had a lot of people pulling at him.
Now distractions is right.
Yeah, and and he had, they had different upbringings, right? I don't think Aiden would have those type of issues that Chuck had, with people, pulling at him, asking for money, things of that nature. I don't think he'll have those type of problems. But like I said, I don't know if I'll pass up on Thibodeau. Like, I don't know if I can do that.
You brought up a great point, though. Like, subtly, you asked Terry, is he playing through it or is he sitting out?
Yeah.
So from a player's perspective, right, where you're sitting there, so you're saying to me, from a player's perspective, mentality is him sitting out makes him more valuable. Because we know what his talent is, and you're not as worried if you're picking first about his injuries.
Yeah, I'm not, because I know he's tough. He's going to play through it, and he's still going to stand out and still play at a high level through those. I won't call them injuries, and injuries just sitting out to play through that pain, play through that hurt. Totally different. I like Hutchinson as well.
Does he stand out? Does Hutchinson stand out?
Yes, he does stand out.
Okay,
but the thing is this though. Does also Ajobo, he stands out as well. And so I wouldn't mind taking either one of those guys in the first round. And don't forget, we have 2 picks in the first round. We got 2 picks in the first round. Right, all right. So understand, we can get both those guys, and if Ajobo's there in the first pick of the second round, I'm snatching them up too. It'll be all defense.
My question to you then, Terry, to the opposite of a player not being able to play at home because of distractions. What about isn't this what the Lions sort of need, as bringing in a hometown kid with where they're at right now, and they're building it, if he is a guy, not just to bring him in as a showpiece, but if he's a legit player like we're talking about.
First of all, Duke can play.
Yeah.
That's one. Secondly, the Lions had a reputation back in the day, for whatever reason, they would not draft Michigan players. They drafted very few. And, it pissed some people off, but they let some pretty good players go. But my thing is, Hutchinson is a hometown guy. I don't think he's going to have the distractions that we talked about, but I would still try to ask the question because you have to do your due diligence. And from talking to my NFL people, and I've talked to them about the Lions like forever. They said what the Lions should do is they have to have a team that makes things uncomfortable for Aaron Rodgers, makes things uncomfortable for whoever's quarterback in the Chicago Bears, Kirk Cousins. You need to disrupt the other team's offense. That should be their number one priority. If you get Hutchinson and Ojabo and they develop, bam, everything is disrupted on the other teams.
Yeah.
So
can you imagine if we end up getting both these guys, right? Can you imagine how much better our defense will be? And now that's how you start to build the team, because now you have an elite linebacker who people think can come in and be just as effective as a Michael Parsons. And we'll talk about that later on how he's so dominant and how he's come into the league as a rookie, and to have that big of an impact on the defense. Like, to have these 2 guys on the D-line, right, and then to have Thibodeau as a linebacker, you got to imagine how much easier they're going to make the game for him. He doesn't have to share through as many offensive linemen, right? He don't have to worry about that. That defensive line is going to make those linebackers that much better. I like it. And if they're all there in the first 3 picks, that's who we need to snag. I don't care if 2 guys do come from the same school. These guys are playing at an elite level. And going into that Ohio State game, who had the most sacks?
Hutch did.
No, Ajobo had the most sacks.
Going into
the Ohio State game, he had more sacks. After the game, after the game, he had more. He got 3 sacks. Ajobo had 1, but even that last sack that he got was, C.J. Stroud was running away from Ojabo from the sack and ran him into Hutchinson. And so these guys are elite, playing at elite level. For a guy to just start playing football his junior year, you say, coaches tell me run through that gap. I'll run through that gap.
Right.
These are, that's that Ziggy Ansah appeal where he didn't play football until he got to college. You have a few guys like that can make that transition from another sport to the football field and be successful and have success.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if down the road Ojabo is going to be a better player than Hutchinson from the standpoint that he started so late that his learning curve is much steeper.
More upside.
Yeah, it's more upside.
There's more upside
because
to him.
He's still learning the game at a faster pace than Hutchinson.
Yeah, and very athletic. Very athletic. Fast, agile, can change direction really good. I mean, I'm excited to see what he does.
All right, brother, let me ask you a question.
Talk to me.
If you had the picks, and forget about all the scouts, what the scouts are saying and all this junk, because it influences sometimes the way we think. Would you pick Ojabo over Hutchinson?
You know what, though? It won't go wrong. The thing is, you better be right.
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
But the thing is, who will argue that? Mm-hmm. Who's going to argue that? They might argue, his stats are better, but they're both playing at a very elite level. They're on the same team. They work well together. And that's why I said that if they're there in the first 3 picks, I mean, when I say the first 3 picks, our first 3 picks, the first pick, and right now, can you put it back up there for us real quick? If we were to start the draft today,
123.
123. So if you look right now, the very first pick, the Lions, Thibodeau. You go to the 23rd pick, Hutchinson. You go to the first pick of the second round, which will be us again. I'm taking, if he's there, I'm taking him.
I think you would be forced to take Hutchinson in front of Ojabo, even though you like Ojabo.
I'm not taking.
Here's why.
You are going to have to take Ojabo. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
You got to take Hutchinson first, because then if you take Hutchinson first, you can get both of them. If you take Ojabo first, you can't get Hutchinson.
Exactly, you can't. And so we'll be forced to take Hutchinson first. But I like Ojabo. I like him. So if he's there on the first pick of the second round, I'm taking him. Our defense has just got that much better. That much better. Right? And people are looking like, we need a receiver. Why? We don't need a receiver in the first round right now.
You brought up Micah Parsons, right? What do you have, a couple sacks last night or whatever, and you brought up that defense with what a guy, you mentioned pressure, what the Lions need to do. Get pressure on Aaron Rodgers, build the team to get pressure. You see what Dallas has done. 4 picks last night. Because of a lot of it, the disruption, would you say Micah Parsons has a big, whether in most plays that even if he's not in on it, he disrupts timing. He allows Tavon Diggs, who did he get one last night?
What, Diggs?
Diggs, did he get a pick last night?
Oh yeah, he got a pick. You know what, Tyson Hill, he was a fairy godmother last night. He was Oprah Winfrey last night. You get a sack. You get a sack. You get an interception. You get a pick. You get a pick. You get a pick. He threw 4 picks, 2 sacks, and it was just one. Just threw a pick right to the D lineman. Big Baby takes it all the way in.
Big Baby.
Yeah, Big Baby takes it all the way in. You get that. You got to celebrate as much as you can. Cause how often do you see a defensive lineman get a pick and take it to the house? Pick after pick after pick after pick. Diggs getting a pick at the end of the game, icing the game. It was, his 9th pick of the year. That guy's playing at an elite level right now. They're balling right now. And so when you look at it, man, like Tyson Hill last night didn't have a good day. 19 of 41. 19 of 41. 2 touchdown passes, 4 interceptions.
I watched that, and it just, because we were talking about him re-signing, didn't he just get $40 million over 4 years or something like this? Sean Payton's project.
I don't think Tyson Hill had a bad day. He's having a bad career. The dude is not good.
I think I'm not gonna say he's not good. It's not that he's not good. It's just he's good in certain situations. He is a package player, which means you're going to build out a package specifically for him. But for him to get into a game and manage the entire game and put his team in position to win, that's not his game. It's, when Drew Brees was there, they'll bring him in for certain packages. You got your quarterback is your leading passer, but also your leading rusher. 11 carries for 101 yards, averaging 9.2 yards a carry. That's not a bad day on the ground. That's not a terrible day on the ground when you averaging 9.2 yards a carry. But when they put you at quarterback and you throwing picks, you have to be that guy. That's not what's going to make him successful. It's not his game.
You know what? In my world, get the hell out of town. I don't want you. Don't need you. I will find somebody else.
You can't do that, man. He's athletic. You see the plays he's making with his legs. Dude. You mean to tell me that you can't find? So this is the thing about the draft. When you go get guys, right? You go get some guys. Sometimes you'll get a guy in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round, and these guys will surprise you. Oh, this guy is a 1st round talent. We got him in the 3rd round. Tyson Hill is a guy who, when we saw him play when Drew Brees was there, he was a guy like, oh, they got a steal with this guy because he was so athletic. He was making plays. He could catch. He could throw him at receiver. He was a utility player, right? He was like, who was it? Cordero Patterson. That's what he was.
You know what? And that's cute. That's really cute. And you can do that if you're my backup. You're not going to be my starting quarterback.
He wasn't a
gimmick quarterback.
He's a gimmick guy. 7 plays, 10 plays, whatever like this. You see the best plays they had last night is when they ran the Wildcat, out of that formation. So it doesn't matter. Obviously, being down in New Orleans, Terry, Tyson Hill had a rough game, but he probably, if he was you, he would have hit the vodka, wouldn't he?
Oh, he'd hit the vodka, all right.
What kind should he have hit?
You know what? He'd be selling the vodka.
Because this is what they are down here in New Orleans. What type of vodka is down there in New Orleans?
It should be gypsy vodka.
Absolutely.
And I would put a little apron on Tyson Hill, put him behind the counter, give him a bunch of bottles of gypsy vodka and say, brother, sell them. Because you're going to make people happier by giving them gypsy vodka than you will if you're the quarterback of the local team. So take that gypsy vodka. Tyson Hill, you're my #1 seller of that. It is gluten-free, corn distilled, 6 times using artesian spring water. So Tyson, not only are you going to be selling some good vodka, you're going to be selling great, clean vodka. So try to support our local people here in Michigan. Try a bottle today. Ask for it by name. Gypsy Vodka. And if Tyson Hill is selling it to you, it means I got my way. This dude's out the NFL.
Big D.
And that time of the year again. Time for our 2nd annual Stuff a Studio with Woodward Sports. Last year, Metro Detroit came together to help make the largest single toy donation in Mott Children's Hospital history. This year, we make it even bigger. Stuff a Studio is happening December 13th through the 17th at the Woodward Sports Studios in Birmingham. The children in Mott Children's Hospital fight so hard all year. Now it's up to all of us to help bring a smile to their faces. So while you're out holiday shopping, make sure you pick up an extra toy or two and help us spread some love to Metro Detroit this season. We look forward to seeing you December 13th through the 17th as we stuff our studio with Woodward Sports and Myre.
Woodward Sports Network, let's go! Ho, 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 ho.
The pros know. Go! Listen Monday through Friday for Big D Energy Live on the Woodward Sports Network with Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty, former Lion Joik Bell, and the silky voice of Neil Rule.
Welcome back here, a Big D Energy here on a Friday, hitting the noon hour. Joint Bell, T. Foss in for Neil Rule. I'm D-Mac. We're going to hit on a little bit more NFL here. I don't know if you saw this or not, but Antonio Brown, one of 3 NFL players in the news, getting suspended with 2 others for violating COVID protocol. So the fact that he wasn't vaccinated, and go ahead, Silky Smooth Sawyer, read that for me, bud.
Bucs wide receiver Antonio Brown and cornerback Mike Edwards are both suspended 3 games by the NFL for misrepresenting themselves as vaccinated players. And there's also a statement from the Buccaneers. And it says, "We appreciate the league's timely handling of this matter and recognize the importance of health and safety protocols that have been established. We will continue to implement all league COVID-19 protocols."
What is this like?
What the brother did is he got a fake vaccination card. He got a card, said I'm vaccinated, showed it to the team, and that's a no-no. In fact, I think that might be against the law. It's against the law to
It's
do
a
that.
7-year. It's a 7-year. What they put out there, if you show any type of fake vaccination card, that I think is a federal offense up to 7 years in prison. What they put out there.
Now,
is they gonna do that? No.
Well, now to address, because people are saying, well, didn't Aaron Rodgers lie or whatever like this, and our big boss man Chad Johnson so astutely said he never lied. He lied to the people, but not to anybody else. When they asked, "Did you get the shot?" he said, "I'm immunized," and nobody followed up on that question. So the fact that the team knew, the league knew everybody else, that's why you wonder, well, why? Because the first question you asked is, why are they dropping AB's name? Why not dropping everybody else's name? Well, you know why. Yeah. Because that's like friggin' lighter fluid.
Well, no. It is lighter fluid, but AB has clowned before.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. If you have a bad resume, all the things you did 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 8 years ago are going to come back and haunt you. So if you have a relatively clean record and you mess up, we don't mess with you too much. But if it's habitual, we're going to bring up what
But he been good, though. He been chilling. He's been good. He hasn't been out there doing.
Yeah, but he's doing this.
Yeah, for a year.
He's doing, but other people are doing it too. Like at what point in time they're forcing a lot of players' hands to do something they won't. But like the thing is, I would rather him have came out and said, "Listen, I'm not getting a vaccination. I'm not doing it," or whatever. I don't agree with what he did, and I don't agree with what Aaron Rodgers did either. Right? The team knew that Aaron Rodgers wasn't vaccinated. The league knew that Aaron Rodgers wasn't vaccinated. He just, he lied to us,
Yeah, but I mean that's so. How many other people are out there doing it? But to me, that's stupid on Antonio Brown's part, because you got to know that as much as you're in the league, the rest of the league, you're over in the caution zone, right? You can't. Right. You're not in the green zone. You're like me having to do.
But some dudes think they can get away with everything.
And that's the problem.
In today's society, you can't. You get away with it 15 years ago. You can get away with this in the 80s and 90s. But today,
it's too much technology. But my question to you is this, right? You said something earlier, all right? You said that Antonio Brown, he lied to the people, showed the fake card. I said, well, why didn't Aaron Rodgers get suspended as well? And you said there's consequences if you don't get vaccinated, right? So what are the consequences, right? If you say, you know what, I don't want to get vaccinated, but I want to play, right? But you catch COVID, what's the consequence?
The consequences is you could face suspension, you could face fines. So, but the thing is, if you're vaccinated and get it, nothing happens. You good.
But that's another thing I'm telling you, because when you get vaccinated, that doesn't mean that you can't catch the virus anymore. So basically, they're going to fine you for not doing what we told you to do. But hey, if you catch it anyway, at least you did what we told you to do. And now, So question: if a player get vaccinated and then they end up catching the virus anyway, do the league have to pay them?
No, I don't know all that.
That's what I'm saying.
Here's what the league is saying. The league is not saying we have a vaccination mandate, but they do. But they don't want to say it, because once you use the word mandate, a bunch of people are saying, "Screw you! I'm not going to get this vaccination." But what they're saying is there are consequences if you get COVID and you're not vaccinated, but the consequences disappear if you get COVID and you are vaccinated.
The Wings are going through that. Tyler Bertuzzi's out 10 days, and we know he can't travel into Canada and stuff like this. But my question, the conspiracy theorist, though, is the Bucs made that statement right behind it. Are they exonerated? Are they like, oh, we did everything? Is this, to me, that's what it says. Like they didn't get fined, suspended, whatever. They did their job or whatever. and it was strictly the players,
Yep.
right? And it
Right.
was
I'm
the
gonna say
Bucs can
nothing's
say,
gonna
hey,
happen.
he lied to us. Damn it, what are we gonna do?
yeah.
No, but if you look at the statement that they that the Bucs made, right? They said they're going to continue to follow. They're going to continue to follow the NFL protocol, COVID protocols, right? And that they had people, they have their own personnel and their own staff look into and check each vaccination card that was sent in. And I think they made a statement about a month ago saying that everything on their end was done properly, and they checked everything properly, and everything was up to date. And then now this happens.
Yeah, vaccination cards look like they could be manipulated so easily. I got my vaccination at Rite Aid, and I looked at this thing. I was like, damn, a fake ID looks better than this thing.
But what it is, though, is not just a vaccination card, because once you get it, they put you into the system.
Correct.
And so you go into the system, you look in the system, you can.
That's why you can't lie.
Right. And so you look at it, you look at certain things and certain people, right? It's and I think now I think they're trying to get it to where they can. Well, there's been talks about them trying to take it digital with the blockchain, with cryptocurrency, and when people get vaccinated, it shows up on the blockchain, which it'll always be there forever. It can never be altered. It's going to be right there. And so in a minute, it's going to be if you want to get a fake vaccination card, I don't suggest it, but hey.
But isn't it like everything else? The more time goes on, the more things get tightened up.
It develops.
You know what tickles the hell out of me? When people
Whoa,
say,
wait a minute. What tickles your fancy, Mr. Foster?
I don't want Big Brother in my life. Guess what? Big Brother is right here all the time.
Yeah.
For instance, they took us to this monitoring system downtown. Do you know that every inch of downtown, not only do they see what you're doing, but it's in high def. I mean, we can see the pimple on your face or whatever.
Absolutely.
And if you go out there on Woodward, punch somebody in the face, and come back and say, I didn't do it, guess what? There's video of you hitting them.
That's why my advice to everybody is walk around like you're on camera all the time. It's a Truman show, right? Then it's the same thing. If you don't lie, then you don't got to you remember.
Or if you're gonna lie, do it in your house, because supposedly they can't monitor you there unless you got the Ring thing or some other stuff like that. So, but that's you busting on yourself. So just don't lie. You can't lie anymore.
No, and
Not in public.
It doesn't. I always bring this up, Terry. Enemy of the State, Will Smith, Gene Hackman. It was like a 1998, like in the in the late 1900s, I think it came out, right? But the fact of the cameras back then, think of what if they're showing us that then, what can they do now, and and everything else. So when it comes down to it, I think at the end of the day, it's just the health and safety of everybody is that more so that they can follow it. I mean, it's just like you said, when you bring up the blockchain, bro, that's you tell me that's the end all be all.
That's the end all be all. So do you have the video of, I think it was Ian Rappaport, he was talking about the suspension?
Well, the main news here, Antonio Brown, the receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who was alleged to have used a fake vaccination card by his personal chef, a charge which he disputed through his lawyer. He was found to have done exactly this. And according to the NFL release, which just came, Antonio Brown was suspended 3 games. Mike Edwards, also with the Buccaneers, suspended 3 games as well, as the NFL said in this statement, and this is in accordance with the NFLPA, that essentially these allegations were investigated, and the review supported the allegations that found that these 3 players who you mentioned right off the top did in fact violate NFLPA protocols. In other words, Antonio Brown did in fact misrepresent his status as a vaccinated player, did in fact use a fake vaccination card. In this statement, again from the NFL and the NFLPA, so the health and safety of players and personnel is our top priority. The protocols were jointly developed and the 2 sides are working together. They are committed to reinforcing the protocols. Obviously, Antonio Brown, who is, as you mentioned, out probably 2 games with an ankle injury anyway, he was found to have violated those protocols and now has been punished for it.
You know what though? He's been punished for it. He said, you know what? I'm not going to appeal it. I'm gonna take it on the chin. Which if he came out early instead of having to go back and forth with the lies, we probably wouldn't be in this position. But you know what we can be in? We can be in a nice warm room. A nice warm room. Have I told you about Northwestern Tech? Start a new career in an industry that is always essential. And what's more essential than the cooling and heating industry, especially this time of year in this type of weather? To learn more today, go to northwesterntech.edu. I'm Joyke Bell. That's Terry Foster. D-Mac. That's Fish Kiwi on Twitter. And my boy Sawyer on the ones and twos. And stay tuned because we got something special for you at the very end of the show. Story time with Sawyer. Big D Energy.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Welcome back, Big D Energy, T. Foss, Joyke Bell, D. Mac here, and Terry and I were just laughing because I got to take it back to college football, and I can't put this down because between Keith Olbermann and Brian Kelly, they are my DBs of the month. Anyways, but we're going to talk about Brian Kelly, and Terry said, "Oh, you did notice that he has a Southern accent now." So if anybody hasn't
everybody
seen it,
did.
Brian Kelly, who is now the LSU Tigers head football coach, who just up and left again. Notre Dame should have seen it coming. Was at an LSU hoops game, and he's got a fake Southern accent. Right.
He developed it in like 15 minutes.
He developed it in a shorter amount of time than he talked to those kids at his thing. So was there a Twitter that people see or a statement and different things like that?
Thank you. Well, this is a great way to get started, and I haven't even won all my games yet. It's a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family, and we are so excited to be in the great state of Louisiana, but more importantly, to be with you great fans, and to be part of what is going to be an incredible ride here at Louisiana State University. Bless you.
Now, he would have popped me if he said Louisiana. Are you the guys? Isn't the guy Irish Catholic?
Yeah, he's from the Northeast, from Massachusetts.
He's from Boston. He's never coached outside of Midwest.
Now, is that disrespectful, or is that just not like? Or is it? I mean, does it happen that quick? What is he thinking?
I am in front of these dumb fans who love LSU. I'm going to pull the wool over their eyes. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm with you, bro. What do you like? What are you if you're one of his players or whatever? Like this guy comes in.
Me, why? I'm not.
Joy.
Wait, he held it together as long as he could.
Stop. All right. I want to put you on Joy. Have you ever had in your career a white coach that talks to the team regular, then they get you aside and say, "Hey, brother, what's happening?" Have you ever had that?
No, I never had that.
Okay.
No, I've never.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, no, I never had that. This is right here. This eye cringing. That was like that hurt my ears watching that. It was like
that hurt my soul, bro.
Yeah,
that gave me the cringy feelings.
It's just, I think Notre Dame was good for him. That was a good spot for him.
Right. You know why? Because he was insulated, he was protected. You know what? He had the Catholic, he had the church, he had everything else like this. And the reason you bring it up is because here's a guy, and the reason I brought it up is because of that point, because how what a joke it is. But if you're worried about what he left at Notre Dame, don't be, because the big conversation was Marcus Freeman, who's in his early
DC,
30s,
early 30s,
young guy, but they decided Notre Dame introduced him as the coach, and this is where you see that I feel where it made my heart and my soul warm, is because this will tell you if you think he's going to be successful, but as far as the culture that's there. So this was him getting introduced to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish as their head coach.
We're extremely proud of you guys on your focus and your ability to lock in all week long this week, okay? It was awesome to see, awesome to be a part of. It shows who you are, your DNA, your mental toughness, your physical toughness, the way you compete, the way you care about each other. Okay, that's what this team run is going to be about. Competing, getting after it with mental and physical toughness, and being the best in the country at what we do. So we ready to do that? Yes, sir. All right, so what I'm going to do now, okay, because you're brand new head football coach.
Right there, man. That's what I'm talking about. Let me talk about that, man. You see, and I want you guys to notice the transition, right? I don't know if that was their strength and conditioning coach who was speaking to, I couldn't tell. But you can tell the transition from when that guy was talking to his team. You can kind of see the guy in the front on this thing was biting like, oh, yeah, this is a bunch of bull crap. You know, yeah, this whole, we stand focused a whole week and we care about each other. This old cliche spiel, you know, it's just cliche. And then when they call out the new head coach, and he walks through the doors, and you see the light, you see the spark that goes into those kids' eyes. Can you play that for the spark that goes into those kids' eyes when they see him walk into that room? They are excited. They were thrilled to have that guy, Marcus Freeman, as their new head coach.
You know what that?
I want you to look at that body language right now while this coach is talking to him. Look at him.
The dude on the left.
The guy on the left.
Well, the guy tying his shoe.
Tying his shoe.
Right.
The guy's looking down.
And you know what, Joy? He is the strength conditioning coach because they don't like him.
Yeah.
Right? That's the guy you don't like.
Right. And so when he calls out their new, and I don't know if they know who their head coach is yet at the time right here, but when he walks in, that shows the respect that these kids have for this man and that they're willing to play for this man. Watch it. Watch the transition. Walk through the door. Look at his energy. Let's go. Look at his whole team. They all standing up. They hype. They want that. We need it. This is our new head coach of Notre Dame. You know what? I just became a Notre Dame fan.
I want the smoke. Yeah, that's right.
I want all the smoke. Look at him.
I'm sure the Lions locker room was the same way when Matt Patricia walked in.
Listen, no, it wasn't. This is a young coach who can relate to these young players.
Yes.
Right?
This is the greatest. This could be one of the best things to happen to that program to move forward, because you cannot do what you're talking about, because I got that emotion like I'm in there, because when you're all in it together, it's sort of like getting, I don't know, dumped, divorced, whatever like this, but the old hag, and now you got the new, you know, the new girlfriend.
So this is what
the girlfriend that you was, hey, the DC going, man, I wish this guy was my coach. If this guy, because we relate to him, and you see that there's a relationship already.
You see the relationship trend in college football where you get the younger coaches who relate with players.
That's what.
Now at Michigan, when did I think Michigan was for real?
When they got that new DC?
Nope. The Wisconsin game. And I tell you what happened then. When Wisconsin plays their little silly song and everything, and I saw the players jumping up and down, doing like this, I'm like, that's not Michigan football. I knew the attitude had changed. That, you know, they weren't all like this, hey, I'm playing for Michigan and I'm proud to be here. No, I'm a young kid again, having good, and we're going to go out there and kick some butt.
And so this is what it is. When we're looking at these young kids and they're willing to play for this man, fight for this man, go out there and lay it all out on the line for this new coach, Marcus Freeman. But we're looking at the other thing as well. This is a great first step for Marcus Freeman to be able to have this head coaching job here, right? To start off with this team that is balling right now with one loss, right? It can go into this next game and, you know, and fight for, you know, something special here, right? And then build on something for next year. You got to think, he's in his early 30s. How old is he? 32, 30, 35? Young coach.
You know what just brought up, you know, obviously to my attention, right, is the fact that coming into this weekend, obviously at Michigan, Iowa, but you have the OSU, Baylor, you have whatever else, Alabama, Georgia. It could go down, imagine, right? Because I think there's a way that Notre Dame, we talked about it before, with certain losses, gets into the four. Can you imagine this coach coming in and having a playoff caliber, like the playoff team, because it fits out and he's coaching in one of the big games or stuff like this?
What would have to happen for that to happen?
I guess Alabama would have to lose. Oklahoma State would have to lose.
Right.
Is
Cincinnati done?
Cincinnati's 4. Cincinnati's gonna be in there.
No, I'm saying, are they done? The no more games.
No, they play Cincinnati.
They play Houston.
Cincinnati plays Houston.
Cincinnati plays Houston.
If Cincinnati loses to Houston, they're out.
Yep.
Well, yeah, but they're not going to lose.
All right.
They
You think
could.
they are? Well, I know they could.
What's their record? Houston only lost with one game this year. I think they're 11-1. And Cincinnati is 12-0 right now.
But they don't want Cincinnati in there. So any blemish that they have, they're going to say, see ya.
Houston's ranked number 15 right now, I believe. I believe they're ranked 15.
So they better win that.
Cincinnati's a 10.5-point favorite in that game. 4 p.m. Saturday.
Yeah, Houston has one loss.
No, that will be a big day. But that's it's great to see, because you know what, when we were thinking about Notre Dame, and obviously there's some Notre Dame. I have some friends that graduated from there and stuff like that. But what Brian Kelly did, and the way that we saw the press conference with 23, 28 of the 150 kids there, whatever, and just pretty much admonished them. But to me, it seems like they got their guy anyways. This was something that, because I don't believe that all this stuff with Lincoln Riley and all the coaches and stuff happens overnight. You have to smell it in the water. They've seen it coming, and I think they were prepared for it. And this was their choice of the guy, no matter what. And you know what, Marcus Freeman? You can come on down. There's 168 of these all over the country. For you, sir, new head coach Notre Dame, we can hook you up. Because, guys, let's be honest. We like simple stuff. Football 5 days a week, bowl season. Michigan going to Indianapolis for the Big Ten Championship. Uncomplicated things. Lady Jane's haircuts, yes. For men, that is also uncomplicated, because you walk in, you sign in, you sit down. Before you know it, you're handsome and clean. Get the Lady Jane's open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. T. Foss, Joint Bell, D. Mac, Woodward Sports Network. Be right back.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. One mortgage myth we hear all the time is having to choose between a 15 or a 30-year fixed term. At Hall Financial, we offer the modern mortgage to create a flexible term that fits your unique financial situation. Our team of mortgage experts are available 7 days a week to review your goals and customize a solution for you. Get started today with a free 5-minute mortgage review at 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Big D Energy here, Woodward Sports Network. Thanks for listening. Also, too, on the Roar 99.1, 93.5, and 94.7 HD2. Happy for any Notre Dame fans. I think you got your coach out there. But, again, I want to switch gears. We're hearing all this. Major League Baseball, Terry.
Yes, sir.
There is a lockout in place. I've been a part of 2 lockouts. No bueno. You lose a lot of money. But besides that, does anybody have any empathy, sympathy, anything to billionaires arguing over money? With the contracts that, especially, does it not blow you away, right? These contracts come out. Here's $300 million. Here's $140 million. Here's all this. And then the next day, nope, nobody's playing.
Yeah.
So
and
is
Carlos
it real?
Correa's going to $340 million probably.
Right, if not more. But I mean, all this money being thrown out, and yet it always seems that they can't find a way. That there's Max Scherzer's going to make more than what? 3 teams, Pittsburgh, whatever, like this, and one like. It's so uneven. Is there hope for any of us baseball fans, any of us purists, that they can get this on track, or is this just off the rails?
Okay, this is December. The last time I checked, there are no games in December, no games in January. So, yeah, there's plenty of time. But, you know, I'm going to say almost all negotiations, you got to go down to the 11th hour. I don't mind when sports leagues lock players out or there's a strike. But for whatever reason, when Major League Baseball does it, it pisses me off. Because I know everybody's getting paid. You know, you just had $140 million contracts, $300 million, 10-year, $300 million contracts.
Those are contracts. Those are contracts. So what about once you're done, you're retired? What's the benefits then? If you played a certain amount of years once you're vested, because they could be arguing that as well. It's bigger than just the contracts.
But here's the thing: the contracts are so big, the other stuff didn't matter. Before, that stuff matters when you're making hundreds of thousands or million or whatever. You need to.
Yeah.
But now you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars.
If you're paying me $300 million over 10
that's
years,
not everybody. Everybody on the roster is not getting that.
I'll take care of my health care.
Everyone on the roster is not making that.
Okay, if you're paying me $3 million a year for 10 years, I'll take care of my health care. And these owners,
you'll take care of your health care. No,
what you're talking about, you know, what's the problem?
Yeah,
you know, how do you take care of them
you look
after?
at NBA.
This is not the NFL.
It's not the NFL. Don't take care of you when you're
That's
done.
what I'm talking about.
The
This is
NBA
not
does
the
that.
NFL.
But even the NBA gives their players, once they become vested, free health care for the rest of their lives. So, how does basketball get it? Other sports get it, but NFL don't get it. And it's one of the most brutal sports out there, if not the most brutal sport.
Well, that's a separate argument.
That's
the
because
NFL,
I'm saying,
that's what I'm saying.
That's
when
what I'm saying.
you guys go out in the NFL, I'm like,
but I'm not referring to the NFL. I'm talking about MLB as well, because they have injuries as well, and so what they can be arguing everything the whole CBA.
But they have guaranteed contracts.
They have guaranteed contracts, yes, but still NBA does as well. NBA has
I understand, because the NBA is the best for as far as the NHL or their Players Association. That's an individual. That's the person. That's the spotlight to whatever. They're taking care of the best. We get crapped on. Hey, thanks for all your service. Whatever. Here's a year at Cobra.
But
they
that's
pay $8,000.
why you get crapped on, and that's why you have the
upset.
lockout and you have the strikes. But that's the reason we have the lockouts and we have the strike, because we feel like we get crapped on.
Let's for people who don't understand the difference between a lockout and a strike. A strike is by the players where we're not going to work, and a lockout is where your doors are shut. Right. Sorry, you put that.
The owners are saying we need more.
We need more.
Right. So here's what a lock. Jason Stark, MLB. What's it say, Sawyer?
Yeah, it says a lockout essentially is for the MLB. It's a freeze on trades and signings of Major League Baseball players. No communication between teams and players on their major league rosters is allowed. There's no meetings in the winter, but that does not mean games are canceled. The pressure won't mount until mid to late January. That's when it'll get real. So I guess right now they're kind of like flirting with each other, you know?
All right, let me be clear on something, young man. When NFL, NBA, and NHL go out on strike or have a lockout or whatever, I don't care. I'm like, you know what? These players are fighting for something, and you know it's legit stuff. I get upset when it's Major League Baseball because I know everybody is getting paid in Major League Baseball.
So what you mean?
And the last time I checked,
players are getting paid in the NBA, guaranteed contract. NHL,
it's because of the relationship between the league and the Players Association.
I don't mind that. Go ahead.
So what I'm asking, so what's the difference between, in your eyes? You don't care about the NHL or the NFL or the NBA, but you get mad about the bigs. I don't understand. Like, what's the difference to you?
The difference is there are tough issues that players still need to negotiate in the NFL. In in hockey. And I know the NBA has decided we are in a partnership with our players. So that's why they get more things than they do in baseball. The NFL and baseball, they view players as employees. So don't respect them as much. So that's why I don't get upset when players, but in Major League Baseball, everybody's getting paid.
So you think the NFL, you think when we go on lockout or strikes and we come back, you think our deals are good for us?
No, it never is.
No, because you're dealing with the empire. You're dealing with the biggest of the billionaires. So that the discrepancy is that they always have the power because they have all the money.
This is what it is. Yeah,
and they don't need you like you need them. That's the whole. Look at all these things.
And that's what we call. You know, you ever seen the movie? I think it's called The Gambler.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to a point where you get that what they call it, the FU money. That FU money. That we don't care what you say. I don't need you. You know, when you don't need people, they treat you a little bit differently. I remember when I came into the NFL, I wasn't even in the NFL yet. I was at the Combine, and we had one of the GMs come up for one of the teams, and his opening remarks was, he walks up to the podium. Hey, thanks for having me. Hey, listen, guys. I want to let you guys know we don't need you. We don't need you in the NFL. You know,
that's right.
This is his opening remarks. We don't need you, but in retrospect, you do need us. You need players, right? Even if it's not the guys in this room, you need us to have a job. So it's just that mentality. It's like a mind game that they play, right? And so when you're dealing with people with money, like you said, they have that I don't need your mentality, and you don't, you know, I can hold off because you're gonna need me before I need you. And that's why when we have the lockout, a lot of guys are like, well, let's hurry get a deal done, regardless of what it is. Let's get it done because guys weren't getting paid. And so my rookie year in the league, we had that lockout. After my rookie year, going into my second year, we had a lockout. We couldn't get into the facility. We couldn't work out there. But that's why you have veterans and leaders like a Drew Brees who rented out an entire hotel, brought his whole team back, paid for each hotel room, got us breakfast in the morning, rented out 2 lanes practice facility, and put on his own offseason program until we got everything situated with the NFL. Now that's a true leader, right? And so I look at the bigs, they're going on a lockout because obviously the players want more. I don't know what they're about to argue. I don't know what their legal counsel, I don't know what they're arguing for, but I knew for us, I know we want lifetime health care. I know we wanted more money for the veterans, more money for the people who retired when I was there. And so we feel that's important because these guys that help pay the way for us. And so I'm a firm believer in strikes, lockouts. I mean, get what you need. Get what you need.
One of the major issues with baseball, and I think this is ridiculous, the owners don't want you to become a free agent until you're 29 years old. So in baseball, there's a good shot you could break into the league at 19. So you're telling me 10 years from now is the first time I can become a free agent? That's baloney. So that's what the owners want, and that's what the players are fighting for. It has a lot to do with free agency and when you can become a free agent.
Well, we obviously know the money's there, the way they're throwing it around.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's how to control that money in that term. So it'll be interesting, like you said, into January. The longer these things go, it's back and forth. But one of the things I wanted to bring up to you guys, and you know, Maz brought this up because he's trying to throw in a little bit more hockey because he doesn't, you know, treat us to as much hockey. But there was a tweet out there, and he asked me if I had to bring back just one of these awesome defunct team logos, maybe 2, which one would it be? And I asked you, T. Foss and Joink, if you had to get one of these in a jersey or whatever else. Now, I'll run it through. That's the old Minnesota North Stars, the California Golden Seals, the Cleveland Barons, the Hartford Whalers, the Kansas City, I don't know,
Colorado. Looks like the Camels.
Yeah, the Colorado Rockies, the Quebec Nordiques, and the Atlanta Flames. I got to say, out of those ones...
I know what you're going to say. You're
the
a Whalers guy.
The Whales, cool. I love the Colorado, you know, the thing, but I'm going with the Atlanta Flames.
Yeah. I was going to say the same thing.
I'm going with the Atlanta Flames.
I'm a Whaler.
Yeah,
I like the
whale and Sean Belegian, our buddy Sean. He will say that one.
I like the logo, but I've been to the mall when they used to play in the mall.
Yeah.
So I've been to the mall.
Ozzy scored a goal. We played there, and Chris Osgood scored a goal in that rink.
Yes.
In the mall.
Yes.
In Hartford, they played in the mall.
What?
Yeah, in Hartford, the Hartford Whalers played in the Hartford Community Center, which was connected to a mall.
What was Hartford? Where's that?
Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah, first time I went there for a game, I only been there for one game. I'm like, damn, is there an arena here? And I was gonna I can buy myself a little pair of shoes and some jeans or something. Oh, there's the ticket office.
How about you, Fish? Did you have a favorite on there?
I mean, the Whalers was good. The Nordiques is a classic.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the one that everyone wears.
That's a classic.
Everyone loves
Sawyer?
that one.
I'd either be a Whalers or Nordique guy. I just love the colors of the Whalers uniforms.
I think some of the old, that's why I like some of the old logos in different sports or stuff like that. I'm not mad at all the old hockey ones. They got some sort of character to it. I think that we were talking the other day because the Seattle Kraken, the expansion team,
that logo's taken
their
off.
ass is a little big.
Yeah, I heard
it's
you
a
complain
little.
about
It's
big.
a little big. You know what I'm saying? And not much. It's just like the outline, but it just sits sort of a little big, and that's sometimes.
What current logo do you like besides the Detroit Red Wings?
That's all. I was a big. I love the Calgary one.
I was going to say there's two that I really like. I like the Maple Leafs and the Flames.
Yeah, no, the Flames was always awesome to play out there and even play in the horse head. I like the black unis. I always wish we had a black third uni here in Detroit. They have it. What's that?
Let's get it going.
Well,
I like the
you
Colorado
think that
boy.
guy's going to listen to me, Terry? He never listened to me before.
Funny, that is a question I was going to ask you. We talked about the young Red Wings. When you are around them, do players ask you questions? Do they ask for your advice?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I think that's very important.
And more so, right? And this is where, what am I going to do? Help you? I'm going to help you on the mentality of the game, right? You're going to have to figure out the speed and different things, but I can, different things that I see. And yeah, we have these talks. And it's more on the culture stuff and more of what to come, what want to do, and we're having guys trust the process, right? And to do this. And I'm not going to teach Lucas Raymond anything on how to score, shoot it through a D-man's legs, or be smart like that.
No, but you can teach him how to be
protect
professional,
himself, how
to get through the grind.
Absolutely. And those are the big things, and that's the maturity. And the biggest thing that I say about that Red Wings team with these young guys is not only is the youth, are they talented, but they're mature. Listen to them talk. So one of the things, here's a little tidbit, I learned that Joe Valeno's the cook. Mo Sider and Lucas Raymond are not. So Joe Valeno cooks for the boys, takes care of them, at least did down in Grand Rapids. So it reminds me of us. You remember, all of me, Ozzy, Drapes, Dandy, Wardo, all the guys that grew up together. It's just a new patch of young punks.
Hilarious on your team, Mike Vernon. He wasn't there for very long. That dude used to crack me up.
Oh yeah.
I remember one time, Scotty Bowman. You guys practice at the rink downtown by
City Rink.
Yeah, City Rink. And Scotty Bowman, usually he would just look at me, not just me, but reporters, just get out. And so I was like, dude, and I said this in front of Ozzy and Mike Byrne. I said, I am so sick of this dude. I hate coming here because of him. And then Mike Vernon was like, ooh, you're upset, huh? He says, you can walk out here and never come back again. We got to come back the next day, the day after that, and the day after that. I don't feel sorry for you. And he just went, woo, and I was cracking up. I said, man, dude, you lectured me, but it was so funny. I had to laugh.
Well, that's the veteran in them too, right? Mm-hmm. Because that was the you look at and some of the things that, even though Mike Vernon was our goalie, but bringing the stuff, the veteran stuff, you could tell that he was the stoic and nothing really bothered him. Hey guys, let me tell you about the second annual Stuff a Studio. Yes, Woodward Sports and Myre present Stuff a Studio. What are we doing? We're collecting toys for Mott Children's Hospital. The Woodward Sports Studio here at 34915 Woodward Avenue in Birmingham between December 13th and the 17th. Why? You know, I got to tell you why. To help all the children who have been in the hospital all year have the holiday they deserve. Last year, Woodward Sports donated over $70,000 in toys to the Mott Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor, making it the largest donation in Mott history. This year, we are doing it again, teaming up with Myre, our great partners, and the power of our supporters to stuff our studio full of toys. You can drop off a toy anytime, December 13th to 17th, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. at the Woodward Sports Studio. If you're a local business, we will give you a shout out, or donate online at woodwardsports.com. Can't wait for that. Let's outdo. We've been around for a year now and did 70,000 last year.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
blow that out of the water for all these kids that are going through it. So, Big D Energy, Terry Foster, Joy Bell, D-Mac. We're going to get into Big D Energy picks when we come back. Woodward Sports Network.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Welcome back, Big D Energy, here on the Woodward Sports Network. We're going to fly through some of these Big D Energy picks because you want to stay tuned. After the greatest commercial read in history by Fish, we're going to get into a new episode on these Fridays called
Look out, stay out.
with Sawyer.
I love that.
All right, let's fire through these. I'm going to bring you through some of these college games, some of these big games. Oregon, number 10, facing number 17, Utah, is a -2.5.
Where's that game? Is it Utah?
Yeah, it's in
You
Utah.
cannot win in the mountains of Utah.
T. Foster, you cannot win in the mountains of Utah.
It's impossible.
There it is. T.
Why is it
Foster says
impossible?
book it all day long. Joint bell.
hard. You know, Utah is a mediocre team. You get them in their little mountains in Utah, they become world beaters.
All right, you
Get 'em
heard it
anywhere
here
else.
from the professor. You like Utah or Oregon, Joint?
I like Oregon.
You like Oregon? Which we'll see. Hopefully that State or Michigan wins and maybe State plays Oregon in the Rose Bowl. Number 9, Baylor. Number 5, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State -5.5. Joint bell.
Oh, I got Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State. T. Foss.
I'm with him.
You're with him? I think Baylor pulls this
I
one
think
out.
Oklahoma State has been underrated all year.
Okay.
And they're a little bit ticked off.
All right. All right. The big 1 versus 3 sort of preview must win for Alabama. Getting 6.5 at Alabama.
I have a rule in life. I never bet against Alabama, but I'm going to do it this time. I'm going to go Georgia.
So that's not really
I'm breaking my rule.
You broke your rule.
Broke my rule.
You break your rules. Joy, what do you think? Is Bama get it done, or is this a Georgia pounding their way? Pounding their way to victory.
This is tough because if Georgia wins, right? If Georgia wins, then they'll have to play Michigan, right? If Georgia wins this game, they play
Cincinnati.
Yeah, play Cincinnati.
Or if they win this game,
If they win this game, they're likely to play Cincinnati.
Okay, then I want them to win.
Okay, he's going for that.
I want Georgia to win. You know, and the thing is, it's not that I'm afraid of that. I want to save that game for the championship game.
If you get past Alabama.
Yeah, there you go. That should be a good game.
I'm not
Much
worried
see,
about
much
Alabama.
watch.
I'm not
Another
worried about
one we
Alabama.
mentioned, number 21, Houston facing
I'm
number
worried about
4,
Alabama.
Cincy -10.5. I got Cincy. That's my team this year. I know that nobody likes them because of their schedule and stuff, but if they want to do and be respected and stay where they're at, they got to win.
And there always has to be a fly in the ointment. Cincinnati is the fly in the ointment. They'll be there.
They'll be there. Joint belt.
Yeah, and then we also talked about if certain teams loses, Notre Dame can get it. I don't think Notre Dame has a possibility of making it to the top 4.
I mean, they do if 2 of the teams lose.
Listen, the reason I say that is because the commissioner,
Cincinnati, Michigan, and
listen,
but Notre Dame beat, but Cincinnati beat Notre Dame.
It don't matter. Here's the thing. They said the eyeball test matters, and they said the eyeball tests don't matter. So if they want Notre Dame in with Oklahoma State losing and Alabama losing, if that's what their big play is, they'll be in.
But that's the thing. But that's the thing, though, because Cincinnati beat Notre Dame.
Yeah, but they're not putting a one-loss Cincinnati in.
Here's the mistake you're using. You're using logic.
Yeah, logic.
I
just told you.
Logic.
Yeah, you're
when
right.
Gary Barta came out and said
they don't want Cincinnati in there.
No, they're trying. They will try their best to whatever,
and a
that'll
2-loss
be the
Alabama team also can't make
job.
it. So
ultimate screw job with that. How about Pittsburgh, Wake Forest? Wake Forest +3. Who cares? I'll take Wake Forest.
Pitt.
Joint.
I got Pitt.
All right, and then
I usually like the underdog, but I got
Indianapolis, number 2 versus 13. The Michigan Wolverines. Give me a final score.
Hail to
Terry.
the champions.
Michigan is going to
mollywop
their ass. Mollywop, yes.
Mollywop.
It's going to be a borderline mollywop. How about something like 24-7?
24-7.
No, I think we're definitely gonna be in the 30s.
Okay.
At least minimum.
31-7.
34.
33-10.
30. You know what? 33-10. I'll take that.
All right, 33-10. We got Michigan. That is a great segue. Mollywop is a great segue to the NFL. And really, if you got a game that you like on that schedule, but I really just care about, do you think the Vikings and the Lions +7, like I said, 7-4 against the spread. Yeah. Maybe if they can't win, but they can keep it close.
But I have to figure out, was the last game a good game for the Lions or a bad game? It was a bad game.
So, I thought it was a good game for their defense, bad game for the coach.
For the whole team.
Well, they lost, so it's bad.
So it's they lose with dignity sometimes, and they just lose sometimes where it's like,
I can know where you're going here. You're calling Cincinnati game.
Up, down,
you're
up,
calling
down,
they're going to have a Cincinnati
game. You know, the Cincinnati game wasn't a bad game defensively, though. Honestly, just they couldn't get nothing going on offense.
But that's what I mean. What kind of game? Is this going to be a Cincinnati game, a Chicago game, a Pittsburgh game, LA game?
I cannot figure this team out. I know they're going to lose, but I don't know if they're going to lose with dignity or they're just going to get their butts handed to them.
Yeah.
That's what the Lions have reverted to now.
Which way you going on this joint?
I'm gonna go with the Vikings. Yeah, but the thing is this though, I will always go for the Lions. You know, I was always going for the Lions every week. Now, like, you know, every time I go for the Lions, we lose. So I'm gonna go for the opposite team. And so when they played against Cincinnati, I went for Cincinnati, and Cincinnati really kicked our butt. So I'm gonna just say the Lions this game. I'm gonna say the Lions, just because I'm a diehard. So I'm
going to be watching to see if I see, you know, we didn't really bring it up, but what they have, 10 penalties, you know, holding. They called it real tight last game. I just want to see, do I see some improvement in the coaching aspect and stuff? And I wanted to segue the mollywop before the last break because history was made last night in a mollywop way in the NBA.
Oh,
the Memphis Grizzlies beat the Oklahoma City Thunder by an NBA record 73 points, 152-79. And if you're looking online right now, Shaq's face says it all. WTF, Terry Foster, you've been around a long time. What does this tell you?
It tells me that one team was on and one team just said they quit. You have to quit to lose by 73 points.
How do you lose by 73? First thing I told you is I thought of is when they were giving away those bets early on, when the more you bet, then you get the point spread. So, you know, Michigan plus 100. What if you had Oklahoma City plus 72?
Right.
You lost.
When you have the whole roster, you hear me? When you have the entire roster on the team with points, The entire roster had scored that game. The entire roster.
So they
The
put.
bench and
So that
everything.
tells me they put in all the guys.
They put
They
in-
got their minutes and they still got their points.
Right.
They had 3 guys. 3 guys on the whole roster. Only 3 out the entire roster that had less than 10 points. Only 3 guys.
That's
Everybody
amazing.
else on the
That's
team
crazy.
had double digits. Everybody
What
else on
was
the
the
team.
shooting percentage?
What was the 100%?
yeah, 152 to 1.
I don't even know.
I'll find it out.
We
Anyways,
gotta find that out.
when we come back here, Big D Energy.
They was not guarding the rim at all on defense.
No, I know. When we come back, it'll be the debut of Storytime with Sawyer. But before that, Guardian Alarm. You know, I know, we all know. They get it. A good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm is state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm has the convenient features that let you check in on your home, control your lights and temperatures, detect smoke, and even that deadly killer carbon monoxide, all from your phone. It will even let you lock and unlock your doors. So if you want to be part of the Woodward Sports Energy, Big D, or Woodward Sports Network, Big D Energy family, give us a call, 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Fish, it's Friday. I need the fish kiwi. Everything you got for everybody in the back. 1-800.
Stay out. Get out of my house.
Get out of the house.
Stay
Get out of the
out.
fish ball. Follow Fish at #FishKiwi. Anyways, Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years of keeping families safe, businesses safe, everything safe. Guardian Alarm are local security experts. Big D Energy, Joint Bell, Terry Foster, Darren McCarty. We're back with Storytime with Sawyer here, Woodward Sports Network.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
I could not think of a better way to send everybody into the weekend off of Big D Energy. We found something out. We discovered a hidden talent from our boy Sawyer and digging a little bit deeper and finding not only is he security, the offensive line, the ones and twos, but he's creative. And he's got a silky smooth voice, just like Neil
Silky
Rule,
smooth.
who will be back Monday. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is the first edition of Storytime with Sawyer. I now turn it over to Mr. Sawyer Bench.
Oh, man. Big day today, guys. Real big day today. Just like to thank you all for the honor. You know, we did some digging last night.
So proud of you.
We went back to our creative writing high school days, and we actually found the story of Duke. So it's a very touching story. And without further ado, let's get into it. First episode.
Are you gonna keep that up and like?
Well, I mean, there's pictures, man.
Oh,
There's
Yeah,
pictures.
it's a kid's book.
It's a kid's book.
First, Sawyer, first before we get into it, will you just give people a little bit, you know, how many years ago, when you got into this, how this developed, because it's not like, you know, this is something that is who you are. We're letting people know who the man behind the camera is. So, little bit before you get going.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, I've always really enjoyed writing. I've always had a decent skill at writing, whether it's stories or journalism or whatnot. So, and what was easier than my sophomore or junior year of high school, just on a whim, I was like, you know, I'll take this creative writing class, see how it goes. And one of our assignments was we had to write a little short story. And I played football and sports my whole life, and I was like, I'm going to write the story of the perspective of Duke, which is what the NFL football is named. So, yeah, that's what we went with, and that's
here
how
it
we
is.
got it. Yeah, so
the story of Duke.
Let's
by
kick
Sawyer.
it off. The Story of Duke by Sawyer Bench. Maybe I'll get a different author name. So we got an intro. Hello, everybody. My name is Duke. Most of you guys might recognize me from your TVs on Sundays. Yup, you guessed it. I am the game ball for the National Football League, and you can assume that I have lived a pretty crazy life. Well, I'm going to tell you all my greatest stories from the league. And for our radio listeners, there's a nice picture of a NFL football on the field.
I
black
love
and
that
white.
you're actually like a teacher looking at the camera, holding the book out.
You know what it is though.
It's
Next
the
time
pro.
you know what we're gonna do next time? Next time we're gonna scan all of these.
Yeah.
And then we're just gonna have it
pop
up
'em on the
Oh,
board.
I
like
got
a
some ideas
PowerPoint.
for a production value.
Mitch
That's
needs to
really
have
going to
a
bring it up to
Christmas
the next
stories
level.
later.
All right, so
Absolutely.
page 2. Jump back to 5 years ago inside a Wilson football factory. The factory is working at maximum capacity, making football for teams and people all across the country. Little did they know that they were making something very special. The machines marched on with their job, working faster than 50 men. They pressed, pushed, stretched, and filled everything that came past them until the job was done. When 5 o'clock hit, they finally got to slow down and relax from a hard day of work. As the workers closed up for the night, the inside of the factory was coming alive. And we got a nice picture of a Wilson football factory. Football's being made. You know, all the classic stuff. Hello? Is there anybody in here? Hey, buddy. What brings you here? Hey, buddy.
Really?
Yeah. My name is Duke. I don't know where I am. Duke was a brand new game ball for the NFL. His stitching was sharp. His laces were white as pearls. Duke, huh? That's my name too, but you can call me the Vet. The Vet was a very old game ball that had been out of the league for many years. His leather was faded brown, and laces were coated with dirt from the many grueling Sundays on the gridiron. Why is that? Asked Duke. Because you get to play on Sunday. Oh, we skipped a page, gentlemen. Oh, well. We were missing a page. Somebody stole it.
Oh.
So I'll summarize that next page.
Add them.
Yeah, well, it was like, what's going on? Like, what am I here? What's my purpose? And he goes, oh, you have the best job ever. And he goes, why is that? Because you get to play on Sundays. Duke's eyes lit up, and he knew he was going to do something special. The sound of playing on Sunday was music to his ears, and he could not wait to start. We got NFL logo, Steve Smith Sr. hurdling somebody. Pretty cool. The year was 2015. It was a cool January night. This was going to be Duke's biggest stage yet. The AFC Championship game between the New England Patriots and their rival, the Indianapolis Colts. Duke was stationed on the New England sideline for the game. Oh boy, I can't wait to get out there and show my stuff for my buddy Tom. I feel a little deflated today, but oh well, we'll play good. And then he waited anxiously until the kickoff. The kicker grabbed Duke and placed him on the tee. The kicker's hand went up and the whistle blew. He approached. He braced himself for the boot, and then boom! With one quick movement, Duke was flying end over end in the air until he was caught by the opposing team. It was a tough game for Duke. It was cold, and he kept getting dropped by the receivers of the Colts. You're just a ball kid. You cannot do anything about it. Just go along for the ride. That's what the Vet said to Duke. He was feeling down on himself. When Duke remembered this, it calmed him down and he enjoyed himself. This was the most fun he had had in a game. Pretty soon his buddy Tom was throwing him 50 yards for touchdowns. It was so much fun. By the end of the night, Duke had helped the Patriots score 45 points, a whole 45. He was the happiest ball on the planet, and he couldn't wait to talk to the Vet when he got back to the factory. But
Can I ask
fate
a
had
question?
different things. Oh, yes, sir.
Was Duke underinflated for that game?
I was just going to say.
Absolutely, we found out.
There was a little line of dialogue on that last page. He was like, I'm so excited to play for my buddy Tom, but I feel a little deflated today.
Nice little hit in there.
Little jab in
Little
there
jab.
from a Colts fan. Had to throw that in there. But when the equipment manager dropped off the ball bag in the locker room, Duke looked up and saw Vet. His heartbeat rose, and he had the biggest smile come across his face. He couldn't believe it was him. Vet smiled and said, "Hey, kid, that was some good game you had out there. Nice job." "Thanks, Vet. I remembered what you taught me back at the factory, and it worked." "See, what did I tell you?" Vet cracked a small smile, and he said this, "I've got great news for you, buddy." "What's that?" Duke was so excited he couldn't contain himself. Vet looked just as excited as him, and he said, "I just heard from Ball HQ. They saw how well you did tonight, and they've selected you to be the game ball of Super Bowl 50. Great job, Duke. I'm so proud of you, buddy." Duke couldn't believe what he had just heard. Oh my, that's amazing. Being told he was going to be the game ball for the Super Bowl was the ball's dream of dreams, and he was so excited for the opportunity. During the offseason, Duke worked endlessly and hard, as he ever did, for the next season to come. And Duke had his best season yet because he was prepared to be on the biggest stage of the Super Bowl. The season flew by, and he had his best season, as we said on the page before. I wrote this in high school. You know, skills weren't developed yet. We repeated a lot of words. And Vet had taught him everything about
Don't worry,
staying
the
humble.
professor was eyeballing you. He's
After he got
critiquing.
his stamp, he went over to the Vet and said, "How does it look?" You look great, kid. Reminded me of myself a little. Remember, no matter how tough the game is, always be in mind that I'm proud of you. You're a great football. Now go out there and help one of these teams win that game.
The deflated balls. Tom Brady's was named Duke.
We still got more pages, but we're at time.
We got it.
Yeah.
Anyways, we
love it.
We are out of time.
I have another question.
Gang.
When I was a kid, when you had the football, you had the little white stripes on both sides of the ball.
Yes,
How
sir.
come Duke doesn't have that?
Because
he's a
NFL
pro.
football. NFL footballs are the solid,
And that's
solid
a
brown
Canadian.
leather.
That's a Canadian football league. We'll let Fish
love the
lead you
Canadian
in on
Football
that.
League.
Anyways, for Joy Bell,
Gang,
Terry
gang.
Foster, D-Mac, we'll see everybody down at the Tin Roof. Maz, Jade, Ryan Armani, myself on Sunday. Go Lions. Deuces. See ya.